So we are here at the Modern Chic Salon and we're with Kelly, and she is going to do Natalie's eyebrows. We are doing a waxing today, and I just kind of wanted to pick your brain a little bit about what is in style right now. Are we looking at a bigger, bolder brow? Or are we still going for the thin manicured look?
Definitely darker and more shaped, like a 3/4 arch. So instead of like a V or a small, we want to keep them thick and wide as possible, but I do measure them to your features. So where I'll measure to her features and to yours, your brows might be totally different.
Right.
So while some things are trending, there's some things that will always remain the same based on your facial features.
That's a good point. So don't always follow the trends. You gotta do what's best for you, especially in this situation.
Yes.
Okay, good. So what are we gonna do on Natalie today?
I'm going to trim her brows first. A lot of times they'll take a bigger brow and make it smaller. If you trim them first, you have to take less hair. So by trimming them first, you make them look more manicured. And then even when they're out of place, they're still in line.
Okay, and so you just use that little brush to lift up so you know where you're cutting, correct?
Right.
Okay.
However, also I have to look at her hair growth. If it grows up, I can trim it right to the brow. If it grows down and I trim it right to the brow, when I let go, there'll be a gap.
Okay.
So there are little tricks that you have to follow.
And this is why you go to a professional.
Absolutely.
Do not do this at home.
Absolutely. This brow, for example, you can see before I even trim it that this is a little bit thinner than this side.
I see that.
So I'm not going to trim that real heavy. I'm going to take it up and just maybe dust the very edges, but I'm not going to take that any smaller.
How's Natalie doing? Are you alive now?
And then I'm going to measure for her face. A lot of times I see that people will take it out to where the eye starts.
Right,
that's too wide. So instead of going to the end of the nose, which would take that way too wide, as I said, we go about mid-nose.
Okay.
And hers starts right on time, both sides.
Okay, so you want that the bigger part right here to grow in more.
Right.
Keep it a little bit fuller.
Right.
Okay.
Because you don't want to widthen that.
Right.
And then we go from making a 3/4 arch. We go from here and we lay that brush aside. We want to make sure there's no gaps. A lot of times people will jump up and it makes the whole face appear different if the brows are not right on time.
Yep, brows are so important.
So I'll take it to the arch and then softly comes out. And the arch should be on the outside of the color. So if you open, yep, it's on the outside. It should never be in the middle of the color, like that V.
That's good to know. Those are great pointers. Okay, so now that we have done the eyebrows, we are about to do something you have never seen, the nose hairs. All right, Natalie, get ready for this one. Why are we doing the nose hairs? What are some reasons or the benefits from doing this?
Well, when you're younger, you have no hairs that creep out of the nose and that you
the
can
little
see
danglies, yes.
Yeah. So as we age, I don't pull the filter hairs for one. It's just the cosmetic stuff that pokes out that you can see in photos or when you're talking to somebody. So I actually saw it about 15 years ago on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, and they were manicuring a man, fully coiffing him, and they did his nose hairs, and it's brilliant because even when you trim with trimmers, you have the black little buds all the way around, and you can still see those. You wax and it's out by the root. You can't see it at all.
Right, and I think a lot of people are used to men kind of doing this, but I think this is something that's new for women. And I have to say, I can see the benefits because when we use powder, it traps in that little area and it constantly bothers you. So I think this is a great idea. All right, Natalie, you have to let us know how this is. I'm glad it's you and not me, but I'm willing to try. Okay, so you're just going to take, is that wax that you're using?
It is a wax. It's an entirely different wax.
Okay. What's different?
Well, the cream wax, you apply it to the skin and the muslin over. It sticks to both the hair and the muslin. You pull it off. This is a hard wax. So once I put it in the nose, it's going to not run all the way back as a cream wax
that's a good
would,
point. Yeah.
it hardens and so it stops
Okay.
without going much further. And then I pull it out the whole plug. I don't need muslin to pull it off.
Okay. Now, once you do this, how often would you get this done?
Approximately once a month. Waxing questions are the hardest to answer because you might need it once every 6 weeks.
Okay.
Somebody else once every 8, but it's par for the course to need it once a month.
Okay. So it's different for everybody, but about once a month.
Yep, and breathe through the mouth. No breathing through the nose. And I always check it. She's breathing through her mouth pretty good, but if people try to breathe through their nose and the wax sinks in, I push it out.
Okay, so it doesn't get up
Yep.
in there.
So you got to constantly watch to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. She is.
Okay, and then so you're just waiting for that to dry?
I'm going to wait for that to dry for a minute, and while I do, I'm going to use a clean stick on new wax and get the other one set.
Okay. Okay, so she's just breathing through her mouth. You're waiting for this to cool.
Yep.
And you're setting that, and then we're going to pull.
Pull the whole plug.
It all comes out at once.
Yep.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it sounds so hard.
Yeah, you can tell this will.
Oh yeah,
wet.
I hear the difference.
Has to be dry. I'm going to test.
Oh my goodness. That's it. Ta-da!
Yeah, it's really nothing.
The nose hairs are gone. How are you feeling it? Okay.